Welcome to this explainer. If you're a free-to-play gamer in Whiteout Survival, you already know that late-game decisions are absolutely crucial. Today, we're not just guessing or listening to global chat rumors. We are applying rigorous, first-principles math and scientific modeling to solve the ultimate bottleneck, hitting Fire Crystal 5. We're going to break down the mathematically optimal path to absolutely maximize your combat power.
Here's our roadmap. We'll be moving from the core dilemma, digging into the actual combat math and attrition dynamics, shattering a massive community myth, and finally laying out a definitive progression sequence. Let's dive in.
Section 1. The FC5 Progression Dilemma. This is the late-game strategic fork.
So, you've finally reached Furnace Crystal Level 5. Congratulations! But now you hit a massive wall. You're faced with the ultimate question for any free-to-play player trying to stay competitive against the big spenders without opening your wallet. Do you pour your scarce resources into the War Academy to promote your Tier 10 troops up to Tier 11 Helios? Or do you push your Furnace and military camps all the way to FC8 while sticking with your Tier 10s? Let's be real, making the wrong choice here could literally set your account back by years.
It basically boils down to two entirely different strategies. Path A is your Helios T11 route. It requires Fire Crystal shards and gives you an immediate, intense power spike for a single troop type. It's targeted. Path B is the Furnace FC8 route. This uses refined Fire Crystals for global infrastructure growth, buffing all your troops a little bit at a time. It raises your overall ceiling, sure, but it's a slow, grueling grind. So which one actually gives you the best bang for your buck?
Let's move to Section 2, Combat Effectiveness Math Explained. We need to look way beyond the basic power score.
Okay, so to truly understand who wins a fight in this game, we have to talk about a hard truth. That default power number you see, it's highly misleading. It's just adding stats together linearly. But actual combat in Whiteout Survival is multiplicative. The real formula for combat effectiveness, let's call it CEP, multiplies your offensive output, which is attack times lethality, by your effective durability, which is defense times health. Because these stats synergize exponentially, a mere 10% improvement in stats actually yields a massive 46% increase in combat effectiveness. Lethality allows your attack to bypass defense, and health makes every single point of defense count for more.
Now check this out. Even before we apply any exclusive research buffs, the base stats of a Tier 11 FC5 infantry troop actually have a 3.64% higher power score than a fully maxed out Tier 10 FC8 troop. The developer's own formula inherently rates the base T11 higher than a T10 sitting in a maxed out Furnace 8 camp. But honestly, base stats are just the tip of the iceberg here.
Here is where it gets absolutely wild. To unlock T11, you have to push through the War Academy's Flame Technology tree, right? Well, this tree grants exclusive multiplicative bonuses that only apply to T11 troops. We are talking a 40% boost to attack and defense, and a 25% boost to lethality and health. When you run those exclusive multipliers through our combat formula, you get an unprecedented power spike. You're looking at a staggering 2.99 times combat effectiveness advantage over a T10 FC8 troop, literally triple the effectiveness. No single furnace level can even come close to matching that.
Up next, Section 3, Lanchester's Law in action. Let's talk attrition dynamics.
So, how do these per-unit stats play out on an actual battlefield? To find out, we use a mathematical concept called Lanchester's square law. It was originally developed to model real-world, modern aimed fire warfare. The math proves that an army's fighting strength scales with the effectiveness of its individual units multiplied by the square of its size. When we graph the attrition dynamics, the T11 force completely dominates the engagement space. Because its trajectory is so much steeper, it dishes out damage far faster than it takes it, rapidly driving the opposing army down to zero.
And here's what that math translates to in the game's actual damage mitigation. Because lethality completely bypasses defense, those T11 troops just melt the enemy. This means a player running T10 FC8 needs a significantly larger army just to reach a stalemate against you. To be precise, they need roughly 16.6% more troops on the field just to offset the sheer per-unit dominance of your T11 army. But wait, doesn't FC8 give you a bigger army? Let's address that. Moving right along to Section 4, the Training Bottleneck Reality. It's time to bust a major myth.
The most persistent argument you'll hear in global chat for rushing FC8 is all about march capacity. People will tell you, hey, FC8 unlocks over 600,000 deployable troops. That massive capacity will easily overwhelm your T11 stats. Their logic is that if they bring significantly more troops to the fight, your superior stats won't matter. But is that actually true if you aren't a massive spender?
Let's look at a very specific number, 2,500. For a free-to-play user, that is your realistic daily troop training limit. And this single number completely shatters the capacity argument. Think about it. You might have those 600,000 slots available, but if your training queues and lack of speed-ups mean you're only generating about 2,500 new troops a day, those extra March slots are just sitting there, totally empty.
So the takeaway here is absolutely crucial. Your army size is restricted by time and training speed, not by how many slots you have. You simply cannot fill FC8 March slots faster than your queue allows. If you choose the T11 path and another FTP player chooses the FC8 path, you're both training troops at the exact same pace. In a real war a year from now, they won't actually have a larger army to deploy against you. They'll just have a bunch of empty capacity, while you will be commanding a mathematically superior, lethal force.
Okay, Section 5. Resource cost and efficiency. Let's look at the harsh economic reality.
32,031. That is the staggering number of fire crystal equivalents you would need to push your furnace and military camps from FC5 all the way to FC8. That factors in both the direct crystal costs and the brutal conversion rates for refined fire crystals. For anyone who isn't aggressively swiping a credit card, this is an astronomical hurdle.
When we compare the efficiency ratios, the gap is genuinely shocking. The Helios T11 path is up to 3.2 times more resource efficient, giving you over 1.6 points of combat strength per 1,000 crystals spent. You can realistically achieve T11 infantry in about 12 months of focused play. But Path B, the FC8 route, that is mathematically unreachable for free players. It would take over 7 years of grinding. Let's be honest, by the time you naturally reach FC8, the game's meta will have completely passed you by.
Finally, Section 6, the optimal F2P roadmap. We call this the Bang Bang policy.
To solve this progression dilemma definitively, analysts look to optimal control theory, specifically Pondriagan's maximum principle. Don't worry, in simple terms, this complex theorem proves that splitting your resources in a game like this is a massive trap. To mathematically maximize your power over time, you have to use what's called a bang-bang policy. This means allocating 100% of your resources to the absolute highest leverage goal available, completing it, and then instantly switching 100% of your effort to the next goal. No half measures. No slow leveling your furnace and academy at the same time.
So, based on the math, here is your proven battle plan. Step 1. Secure those early infrastructure multipliers by pushing to FC6 or FC7 to grab some immediate system buffs. Step 2. Execute that bang-bang policy. Pivot hard and allocate 100% of your shards to rushing infantry T11. This gives you a supreme, unkillable tank floor. Step 3. Only after unlocking T11 infantry should you proceed to finish the FC8 endgame and wrap up the Lancer and Marksman branches. This exact sequence mathematically guarantees you have the maximum possible combat power at every single stage of the late game.
So, I'll leave you with this final thought to ensure that every fire crystal you spend from today forward actually guarantees your survival. Look at your training queue, look at your war academy, and ask yourself, are you investing in immediate exponential combat dominance, or are you endlessly grinding toward a theoretical capacity you will literally never fill? Stop chasing the illusion of max capacity, respect the math of multiplicative stats, and build an F2P army that actually hits back. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and stay focused out there.